Hello everybody. Welcome back for another video. I hope that you're all doing well, hope that you're all doing fantastic, and that you're all having an absolutely incredible day. Don't forget to leave a like. It is a free and easy way to support the channel. A very big thank you to everyone who has subscribed. A gigantic thank you to everyone who leaves a comment every single episode or video, if you will. It helps out the algorithm and the channel a lot. Without any further ado, let's jump right into it. I don't know how to say this any other way. I'm so disgustingly bullish on the market that like it's beginning to hurt my brain. If you've missed any of the other previous videos, the good news just keeps on rolling in. And I mean, it's almost like non-stop as well, which I think is usually part of my problem in actually understanding why the market could at some point have a large amount of negativity, or, you know, as we've gone over the last couple of weeks, if you've missed it at any point, for some odd reason, especially if you check Twitter is like the dark hole of the abyss for cryptocurrency for some reason. If prices aren't going up by 15 to 20% per day for any coin, it's just negativity around that coin and around that project. Heaven forbid should that coin fall down by 10 to 15%. Oh my goodness, like everyone ends up like completely like, well, the project's done for. I guess we're done, guys. If you remember, this was about 2-3 weeks ago. I saw so many people online posting so many like sad and crazy things that I was like, is something wrong with the market that I just don't know about? Am I missing something? Every single day, every 24 hours, hello, once again, we get cryptocurrency news from the modern investor. Got it. The really weird part is the last time that we had any real negative news was 2022 about FTX. Since then, we maybe have had 3 other days, and I mean bad news consisting of prices have fallen, prices are down. I cannot recall any kind of news like really, listen, I don't recall any kind of news like BlackRock is leaving crypto. MicroStrategy just sold all their Bitcoin. This, you know, Kathy Wood is super bearish and she's like, institutions just aren't here. They don't want Bitcoin anymore. I'm selling my position. I'm going to go buy a cow or something like that. All we keep hearing is that rich people are buying up all the crypto. And that's been a common theme over the course of many years. And if you remember, the first time we began to get that news was in 2022. Remember, for those of you who've forgotten, I think Bitcoin was around like 11, 12, 13,000, somewhere around there. And prices kept on going up and up and up and up. And then right before we got the ETF, remember, like we were talking about, Bitcoin's price was around like 16,000. And then, you know, look at where we are now. The negative sentiment is something that needs to be studied, especially as the market, you know, we may not be, I'm sorry, we may not be at a $400, $900 million Bitcoin, but things are looking absolutely exceptional, completely across the board. One of the most popular news stories of the day, one of the most popular, I need to sit up straight. Oh gosh, why do I keep doing that? I have this weird thing where like I start out like sitting straight up. Hold on, I had to move the microphone. I sit up like straight up, and then as the video goes on, I'm like slouching the entire time, and then my back just ends up sitting up straight now. The massive news, one of the most popular news stories of the day surrounds BlackRock. I don't know why. I think I know why, but I don't know why people give negative news on positive things. So remember, last year, if you weren't here, we would have days where we would hear in the news explicitly, and we could confirm it through SEC filings, that the amount of Bitcoin that was purchased by ETFs, do you remember this, on any given day was between 8 or 13 times more than the amount of Bitcoin that was being created per day. Do you remember that? If you don't, well, that's crazy. What we would often hear is that over the course of a day, X amount of Bitcoin was mined. However, BlackRock alone from their ETF was purchasing 6x that number in one day. And then all the ETFs combined were buying 13 times the amount of Bitcoin that had been printed, minted, created that day. Everyone still with me? Down the line, let's say 2 weeks later, there was a day where the inflows were only exactly how much Bitcoin had been created that day. And then the news was negative. It appears that the ETF issuers are now negative on Bitcoin. I was like, no. Those are the amount of Bitcoin created that day was still swept up by these companies, by these, investors. But no, the sentiment was really weird. And we started getting a lot of crypto news that something must be wrong. There's just no interest in the ETFs. And now we're seeing that these ETFs are rapidly moving towards owning over 2 million Bitcoin. Once again, that's a number 2 in front of it. Nearing 2 million Bitcoin. They'll probably get there by summer. Let's be completely honest with ourselves. But if we have any days where like the inflows aren't as spectacular, people go, well, Bitcoin price no move. What we gonna do? I'm so sad. It's kind of like Ethereum. Remember, this was, and I once again, I said I don't know, but I think I know. I think a lot of it has to do with news that Bitcoin maximalists are pushing out there because they don't want any other coin to succeed. Don't tell me I'm crazy because I've been in this market for a lot longer than other people. And I've seen exactly what Bitcoin maximalists will do against XRP to make sure that people hate a coin. Ethereum's incredibly popular. Ethereum's the most used blockchain on the planet. However, the inflows to the ETFs for Ethereum have been spectacular. But you've noticed, right, the amount of negativity surrounding Ethereum as far as price-wise and stuff like that. But institutions love it, and they have loved it for a while. Has everyone forgotten? Probably. Because people never talk about it anymore. If you get a chance, as I say, and like it feels like every 13th video, Google the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance. It is a consortium. It is a group of around 500 companies, about 300 of which you know and have seen since you were a little kid, who are buying Ethereum, who are using Ethereum, who are developing things to work on Ethereum. Institutions love it, but for some reason, a lot of the crypto news ends up being very negative. It says a massive institutional move is unfolding in the crypto market as BlackRock, the world's largest everything, continues to buy Ethereum in staggering amounts. Well, that's weird. But people hate Ethereum. We've been told for years to not like it. What could possibly be going on with BlackRock buying? Remember? Oh yeah, remember this one. Every single time that there were inflows, every single gosh darn time that there were inflows into the Ethereum ETFs, I showed you in multiple videos, there were a lot of articles with people complaining because it wasn't as much as the Bitcoin inflows. So if Bitcoin had, 800 million in a day and Ethereum had 120 million, people went, well, the demand is just not there. And I was like, no, $120 million is insane. In what, are you joking? In one, like that's an egregious amount of money in one day to accumulate an asset. And then remember, the other articles began to pop up. Well, Ethereum's like always like printing money because you know like the supply will go up forever. And then I remember showing you charts, and I was like, it's not. I'm gonna try and find it like the next time as well. But I'm on this train of thought. People were releasing articles about how Ethereum was garbage because because it keeps inflating. Like, you need Ether to stake it in the network to create more Ether. And then I showed you the chart of what these people were talking about, massive inflation levels. I think 30,000 Ether had been created over the course of like a slow movement in the crypto market. And then days later, essentially, those coins, air quote, had been burned because Ethereum has a burn mechanism. Ethereum is deflationary. Everyone keeps trying to do whatever they can to make sure that Ethereum isn't like in the news or isn't popular. And it's like, once again, you have nothing better to do with your time. You know how sad that is, that you are spending time out of your day and your life creating and writing articles to make up something because you don't like that number on a screen. You know that these are just like digital currencies, right? Imagine wasting time in your life to be like, I don't like what XRP is doing. And then you go on like a crusade for a year to try and get people to not touch it, to not buy any of it. And then go, see, I told you so. You like it just doesn't make any sense. I really don't get it. Over the past 6 days, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Over the past 6 days, an inflow of $500 million, $513 million worth of Ether has been recorded, signaling a profound shift in institutional confidence towards Ethereum. It was always there. It has always been there. On days where we had $80 million, I have to remind people, if the inflows to the Bitcoin ETFs on any given day falls from 1.1, we've had days where $1.1 billion, $1.1 billion freaking dollars went into Bitcoin ETFs. If the next day that number fell to 110 million, people went, oh my gosh, like why isn't it a billion again? Do you understand that $110 million could have gone to gold, could have gone to real estate? These people chose to put $1/10 billion on a wink bad day into Bitcoin. When we've had days where the inflows to the Ethereum ETFs was $40 million and people, oh gosh, what, only 40 million. I guess Ethereum's done. Do you understand that level of confidence to put $40 million in a day into an asset that is a number on a screen? BlackRock in 6 days, $500 million worth of Ether. The news was shared by Ted, a well-known crypto analyst, and he posed a thought-provoking question to the community. It's not that thought-provoking, dude. He said, BlackRock keeps on buying Ethereum. In the last 6 days, an inflow of $513 million. Why are we scared? I think a lot of fear, this is from my vantage point of having been on this planet. I think a lot of fear comes from other people who want us to be as afraid as they are. When I was growing up, I was told to be afraid of a lot of different things. I don't know if everyone had a similar life experience. I remember, story time. I remember when I was younger, I had a babysitter. I must have been 6, 7, 8, somewhere around there. Maybe, 6, 7, 8 years old, somewhere around there. I have a very good memory from when I was younger. And I remember she was lovely, but she was also quite mean. I remember she picked us up from school one day and she would always it was like a cluster of kids who she was babysitting, which was typically the point in poorer neighborhoods. And I remember one day we were walking down the street from the school and I think she was taking us to go get donuts or something. I don't remember what it was. We were always getting a treat with money that we had in our pockets. And there was some kind of construction that was going on a building and there was a ladder. And I remember seeing the ladder. I can remember as a kid, seeing the ladder and be like, I want to walk under there. and I walked under it, and she was mortified. She couldn't, she stepped back as I like walked closer. She's like, why'd you do that? And I was like, because we were all walking forward. She's like, no, like, why'd you walk under the ladder? And I was like, because I was walking forward. She told me that I had bad luck, that I had been not cursed. She didn't say the word cursed, but that like it was bad luck to do so. And I was like, why? She was like, because it is. And I was like, oh, okay. I remember another time being with friends, and there was like a lot of stray cats, whatever the case might have been. And I remember a black cat walked in front of me. It was beautiful. It was like dark. It was like a dark black color. Like it looked like something out of a TV show. I didn't pet it because I'm not crazy, but I was like, oh, it's beautiful. And everyone stepped back and they were like, it's a black cat. Like it walked right in front of you. And I was like, okay, what's supposed to happen? I remember people telling me like in school, like because the floor didn't look too nice. There were like cracks and stuff. And I would see people like actively avoiding them. And this is the first, I remember the first time I heard someone say, step on a crack, break your mama's back. And I was like, what? I was like, there's no way that can be true. These are all, I promise to goodness, these are all true stories. And I remember like looking at it, and I walked over them on purpose, not trying to break my mother's back, but I was like, I can't be the first one to have ever walked on something like that. I remember being in this must have been, it's not preschool, whatever 10, 11, 12 years old is. We had a lot of rowdy kids. And I remember the school's boys' bathroom, I think on the second floor, I remember there was like a broken mirror. Someone broke it out of anger or just trying to be cool, whatever it was. And I remember I walked up to the mirror. I was washing my hands after using the bathroom. And I remember I looked into the mirror and someone was like, don't look into the mirror. And I was like, what the heck? My whole life, everyone kept on telling me to be afraid of so many different things, and none of them made sense. And they still don't. You know how many times I've looked into a broken mirror? How many times I've seen like black cats? Like, I mean, and I actively, I'm not trying to like, skip under ladders and stuff like that because I'm tall now. But what are you talking? Like, this is what I think happens a lot in crypto. A lot of people tend to sometimes have like negative outviews entirely on life. If negative things are happening in your life and you are negative, it's understandable. Negative things are happening to you. I got it. But if the sky's sunny and things are rosy and you're telling other people, you actively make sure to spread negativity. And it goes well beyond fear mongering as well. Fear mongering being like, be afraid. You have to be like, the sky's falling. Like you're just trying to pump fear into everyone. I think in crypto, it's like maybe we're seeing like some of the remnants of what used to happen years ago. Like for Bitcoin maximalists constantly lying to people that XRP, something scary with XRP. The people from Ripple are printing more XRP. XRP is doing this. XRP, and there's like all these like really bad things. It has something to do with like, I think not wanting other people to succeed because you feel like a failure. I haven't really worked it out. I'm not, I haven't figured out life yet. But this is what I think it is. I think in many instances, if people feel like they haven't made it, they don't want other people to make it either. Remember, this was years ago. There were so many, and I don't know why, there were so many negative cryptocurrency channels. They were always like, whenever Bitcoin was moving up in price, they would always make videos. I think many of them have disappeared. Bitcoin's moving up in price. They would always make videos and tell you, well, Bitcoin's going to fall back down to 1,000 before it moves back up. And I was like, why would Bitcoin have to fall back to 1,000? They were trying to essentially coerce people into selling their Bitcoin at 7,000 or 8,000, making them believe that, exit your position now. You'll be able to buy 7x the amount of Bitcoin when it goes back down to 1,000, so that when it goes up, you have even more Bitcoin. Bitcoin didn't fall. Bitcoin went up to 20,000 and everyone, and I remember saying in videos, I was like, imagine if you had listened to these people. It's this really weird thing where like, you can only spread negativity. There's no idea of like spreading happiness in your life. And once again, it's not even like, you don't have to hand people flowers. It's like, this isn't the 1960s, but make sure that just people are well informed. Why make sure that everyone's scared and not know, like, we get good news every single day. I don't know what the other crypto channels are doing. I don't watch them. But it's more of a, we get this kind of news every single. Listen, you just heard in less than a literal week, $500 million was gotten in Ethereum from BlackRock or by BlackRock. What kind of negativity would you know what would cause me to be negative? Listen, what would cause me to be negative on Ethereum or Bitcoin if we heard over the course of 6 weeks, about 42, 43, 45 days, that there were nothing but outflows from these funds. I'd be like, guys, we need to have a serious discussion. If the only money that were flowing in through these things each day was $1 million, that would be insane. They're still accumulating massive amounts of these coins. We hear $80 million and people turn angry and negative. We hear $212 million, even if that was the whole month. That's a large amount of Ether and Bitcoin. $500 million in less than a week? What are you like? We know where the market's going. It says, with such a significant influx of capital into Ethereum-focused funds, many are now questioning It says many are now questioning the narrative of fear that surrounds the crypto market. I don't get it. It drags me down. You've definitely noticed some days when I'm making videos, I'm sure you can hear the tone in my voice because I'm so, if I see something and I know that something is happening in the direction that I want it to happen, I get happy. That's like a logical thing. If you know that your birthday is coming up and on your birthday, you're going to be, traveling to the Bahamas or doing something nice. But as your birthday approaches, you're like, oh, gosh, it's Tuesday again. And then on your birthday, you're like, what's happening? Why isn't everyone at the airport? Like, dude, you got everything that you wanted. Every single thing that and then certain days I get so I get brought down because all the articles that I'm reading are just negative and sad. And I'm like, why is everyone so sad? And then I dig through the news to see what the actual news is. And I'm like, but that's a good thing. Do you remember when this was sometime last year, El Salvador purchased, I think the number was like 122 Bitcoin. It was some whatever number that they had purchased in like a couple of weeks. And people were angry that they purchased more than their one a day. And I was like, you got angry because they purchased too much? People were mad when Ethereum went from proof of work to proof of stake. It's always some kind of like sadness or negativity. We're getting nothing but good news over and over and over. Many are now questioning the narrative of fear that surrounds the crypto market. If a financial powerhouse like BlackRock is aggressively accumulating Ether, what does this mean for Ether's future, institutional adoption, and broader crypto landscape? Do you remember that you must, if not, you need to go get checked out because this was like 2 weeks ago. We had news that the wallet address that's associated with Donald Trump, I forgot the name of the thing, whatever the long sentence is. They purchased, I think, like several $100 million worth of Ether in like 20 days. And people were like, yeah, but like Ether's price isn't moving. And I'm like, oh gosh, I can't say those words here. But I was like, are you different? Like I was going to say like HI and then the letter GH, but I can't say that here. But I like what are you? A wallet address associated with the president of the United States bought $400 million worth of Ether, and people were talking about meme coins, and I'm like, yes, that's the thing to purchase now. It's definitely meme coins. Over $1 billion. It's more than $1 billion worth of Ether accumulated every single week. Guys, I'm struggling here. I'm having a really hard time understanding exactly what's happening. I don't know if this is coordinated, really, because we had stuff before in the past where there were people who were actually paid to consistently write negative articles about crypto. And I don't mean like from JP Morgan or Wall Street Journal, but like I have to only assume that everyone's either completely insane or maybe. Am I speaking in Russian? I'm used to speaking this way. Maybe people can't understand every single video. You shouldn't be bullish on this. You should be stratospheric right now. If we heard over the course of this bull run, over the course of the last 6-7 months, that there were no inflows. Do you remember? What was it? The Bitcoin futures. For those of you who do not know, Bitcoin futures are used to manipulate the market explicitly. Period. Full stop. That's what they're used for. That's where they were created. There was a point, I think a year or two after the Bitcoin futures had been created. You can Google this. It was either on the NASDAQ or the New York Stock Exchange. There was a month where the interest in it was zero. Not like a fake zero, like there were 12 people doing it. There was $0, zero flowing through the actual Bitcoin futures because no one wanted to use them. Because people wanted to accumulate actual Bitcoin. If we had heard that we had a means of institutions and also retail to be able to have exposure to Bitcoin in a form of a security that was approved by Gary freaking Gensler, and the inflows to them were $0, I would make a video and tell you to be terrified. The inflows daily are several $1 million. We've had multiple days where the inflows for the Bitcoin ETFs were over $1 billion. And you remember what I told you? The news that we're getting is about the United States ETFs. Imagine when you combine all of them together and make Captain Planet Bitcoin. Because everyone focuses on everything that's happening in America. We've had news and we don't get it as much anymore because it's not as flashy. Canada was the first place to have Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs, for those of you who did not know this. This happened in 2023. And we were getting news that on a daily basis, the inflows were like $3 million, $4.4 million. When the American ones came out, they blew it out of the waters, $100 million per day. And I tell people, I'm like, if one fund is accumulating $3 million per day when the market is down, for those of you who don't know, that adds up. That adds up pretty quick on a day-to-day basis. Now imagine the other Canadian Bitcoin ETFs that have also launched. The ones in Singapore, the multiple ones in Switzerland, the ones in Germany, the ones in Hong Kong. They don't make the news because they're not BlackRock. How much are they also accumulating daily? How much Bitcoin is being taken off of the table? How many institutions, this is public knowledge, how many institutions saw the amount of money that was flowing into the Ethereum ETFs by BlackRock alone and were like, we got to up our numbers. We need to start purchasing $50 million a day as well in the Hong Kong ones. But no one pays attention to it. And this is not spot. Last thought. This is not spot. This is through the ETFs. How much money has been accumulated through the actual crypto exchanges as well? How much ether has been taken off the table? It's always something good every single day. And it annoys me when I have a negative outlook on the market because everyone else is being so negative about the good news that we keep getting. For those of you who've missed it as well, the ETFs for the SEC are all like apparently swimmingly well. There was just another Bitcoin and Ethereum ETF. There's multiple XRP ETFs being filed that are probably going to go through. There's a Litecoin ETF. There's Solana ETFs. There's multiple other Ethereum and altcoin ETFs that are probably all going to go through. Prices are going to go higher. The market's going to get crazy. But we sit here and everyone's afraid. The actual greed, the fear and greed index, for those of you who didn't see it a couple days ago, actually fell into fear. We were in like light green greed, and then it fell down to neutral, and the market dropped into a fear, like a literal panic. Well, another day, another video of good news. Institutions are here. They're buying up all the crypto while everyone else continues to not pay attention. Ethereum is probably going to $15,000 a coin. Bitcoin is going to go to $500,000 for those of you who missed it. In one of the other videos, a lot of these institutional players are now talking about Bitcoin. They're talking again about Bitcoin going to $1 million to $1.5 million in 4 years. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So, hopefully the optimism comes back, because we're only getting good news every single day. It feels a little crazy for everyone to be so negative on the market. I do hope that you've all enjoyed. I do hope you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.